kind of came into the industry as this was starting in Canada, and in the US, it started to gain a lot of attraction. So, a lot of traction. So, the idea of being an MMJ, so the reporter goes out with their own gear, they shoot, they edit the story in its entirety. So, they're not working with a photographer. So, or a photojournalist, a cameraman. So, my entire career, I've always worked with a photographer. And I became very intentional, actually not applying and or turning down when I was asked in different jobs as I moved around in local news to MMJ. I always opted to choose the job or the station that was still giving reporters the opportunity to work with photographers all the time, because that model to me is the best way to gather and to execute. So there's real practical reasons, including, safety. For example, the Miami area, when I worked for NBC Local, I was a nightside reporter. So there's that aspect of it. But there's also that collaboration that I think is very important. And I think the best relationships between photographer and reporter is when you really understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. Because at the end of the day, when you're building a story, it's art, right? You're weaving words, sounds, and pictures. So when you're doing it with somebody else, my job is to choose the sound bites, to compose the script, to kind of communicate my vision. But then my photographer, who also is my editor now, and that's how it works basically. Although my first station, I had a separate cameraman and editor, but we were tape to tape. Those days are gone. So by and large, right now, your photographer is also editing. So the idea is that they are so connected with you, and you are so connected with them, that from when you gather in the field to you build that script to they take it over and edit it, the piece is the best it can ever be, because they're committed to the art as well. So, and when I'm talking in this context, I'm talking about the edited version of the story, right? Because you can have the best characters and the best sound bites and write an excellent script, but in television, the photos or the video need to complement it to magnify the story, or else because when people are watching, if the pictures are distracting or don't make sense, you've lost them. And I talked about, the I think it's very important to give our best to these stories for those of us working in television, and make it the best it can be, because anything short of that is a distraction for the viewer, and it's a disservice to the people that have opened up to you. Because I take great pride in being able to tell stories and to bring people's, the depths of how people feel, and when they open up like that, we have to in turn give them our best.